All right, so welcome back to the Zombie Attack Force podcast. This is your host, EddyTeddy. And today, in stores for you, we have with us a whole host or whole bushel of panelists with us. Uh, Today, we're going to have Luna, Vic, China, and then our new entry, Pablo. Not Escobar, but Pablo. Go ahead and say hi, fellas.
What's
What
going on?
up?
What up?
Yo, what's up? Yo, Johnny, you still watching The Voice?
Always watching The Voice. I said, what's up, nigga?
Anyways, so the point of today is to mix it up. So that's why we have our friendly neighborhood politician on here, Pablo, because we're trying to do a little bit more of a political aspect today. And Pablo's probably the person that we know that has the most knowledge or actually cares about the world. So we wanted to get a second insight. So we actually have a couple of running talking points so that we can be efficient about it. So let's start. Pablo, I always see something that you always talk about is, oh, don't vote, lesser of two evils, all that crap. You know how people are always saying that?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Like, why do you
I-
think people settle on lesser of two evils mindset?
I think it's in my opinion, it's fear. It's politics of fear. When someone says, don't vote for the better person because if you do, the worst person has a better chance to win. So it's like, most liberals say, if you vote for anyone other than Obama, you're going to hand the election over to Mitt Romney. But the problem is, especially with me, I have a whole list of issues with Obama. So, like, when it comes down to it, it's, are you gonna, a vote to me, in my opinion, is a full endorsement of whatever that person is doing. So you're agreeing with the fact that Obama is a war criminal, the fact that Obama sits on Wall Street's lap, he bailed the banks out. He had no problem with bailing the banks out. So it's different things like that people tend to overlook and say, if we vote for someone else, then the Republicans are going to win. But when you think about it, Obama is more of a conservative than he is liberal. He's on the center. He's center right more than he is to the left.
So what are some of the problems you have with Mittens?
I mean, I don't like him at all. Like, everything that he stands for is something I don't agree with in every way. So I mean, like, his immigration policies are terrible. He wants to inflate our defense budget. He's gonna take. I really believe that if he wins the election, we're gonna go to war with Iran.
Hey, Pablo, have you seen that documentary, that Obama documentary? What is it, Obama 2016?
Nah, what's that?
It's just like an anti-Obama documentary that we were actually, me and Berto were doing some movie day, and we were jumping from movie theater to movie theater, which I totally don't endorse, but they had this thing called Obama 2016, and it was talking about all this Obama policies, how he's trying to downsize the nuclear warfare and minimize the army and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some interesting points there I think they had.
Well, I think I do remember I saw the guy who made that documentary speak on the show, and I mean, a lot of the things that he says, I mean, they're not lies, but at the same time, it's like, a lot of Republicans make it seem that Obama, he's gonna dismantle the military altogether because he gets the budget that he has planned for defense is the budget that the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the people who run our military, ask for. So compared to what Mitt Romney wants for his defense budget, he's pretty much going to triple it. The problem with that is not only is it going to cost our country, it's going to put us more in debt, especially when he says he's going to cut taxes. So not only is he getting less money from us, but he's spending more money on defense. So either way, we're going to be borrowing from China. But the problem with that is, I mean, it's the only reason you spend money on defense is to go to war. I mean, there's no reason other than that you have plans to
That's all we've been
someone
doing.
else up.
We all know what the problem is. The problem is he's trying to cut PBS.
Please don't start with that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, but when you think about it, like for him to use PBS as an example of too much spending, and then go on saying, but I'm going to cut PBS, which is $400 million from our budget, but I'm going to triple our defense budget by something that we definitely will not be able to pay for, and we'll have to borrow from China anyway. So I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense.
It's because he's playing with fake numbers. When the numbers are so big, you can't even think about it as a real dollar amount, and it's not. We don't have the money. We're just like typing numbers in a computer, borrowing the money from China, and then just being like, fuck it. I'll look back at it later.
I have no money.
Basically, I don't know. And the thing you're talking about, like people about Obama and stuff like that, I don't think most people. Excuse me. Either know there one of two ways. They know absolutely nothing about what's happened in the presidency in the last 4 years, or they're like, "Oh yeah, it's been straight. Like it's better than before." Nobody really knows what the hell. So a lot of people don't see anything bad with Obama. They never figured that he did any worse or any better or anything. They're just like dumb.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things is like people put Obama out to be, especially Hispanic people, like he's officially our like the cause for dreamers. He supports gay rights. But if you think about it, he officially came out in support of either of those things within the past 4 to 6 months. And,
Obama's the black guy, right?
No.
Okay, I'm just trying to put a name to a picture.
But no, yeah. So like you think about it. When you look at numbers, Obama was the guy who he's deported the most people in the history of our country, more than any other president, more than George Bush. More than George Bush did in his 8 years, Obama was on his way to double within the end of this year. So I mean, to paint him as the hero of immigrant rights or the hero for marriage equality and gay rights, when I look at it and look at the timing of, he could have supported things in January 2008 when he got elected, but he chose pretty much the last inning, the bottom of his last inning in his presidency to be like, oh hey guys, guess what? I support this. So to me, it doesn't really add up, and I think it was more political than anything regarding what he feels about these groups of people.
He also is the president, like the president to use the Espionage Act the most to get reporters in trouble.
Yeah,
they've arrested put 6 U.S. reporters in jail for writing about real shit that people want to keep a secret.
And the funny thing about that is he was one of the presidents who supported the cause of whistleblowers while he was running.
That's always how it goes, isn't it?
So he was the one saying I'm never going to be the guy to put whistleblowers in jail for exposing things that our government should take accountability for.
The funny thing about that is, by never I mean always.
And at the same time, he is revolutionizing the use of drones. He pretty much doubled the deportations of immigrants. He's tripled the use of drones and killing people. And that's something that people say, Obama doesn't personally go to Afghanistan or Pakistan or Yemen and pull the trigger on these people. But what he does do is personally, he gets a list, I think, every Tuesday of names. And he chooses who gets to live and who gets to die. And throughout the week, bombs are dropped and innocent people die.
He's in the room when it happens a lot of times, so that's for sure.
So, and it's something like, a family dies because they were living in the same building as a freaking foot soldier of Al Qaeda who never really has done anything except, he's affiliated with the wrong crew.
He's got bad friends.
He's got bad landlords, man. Shit.
Oh, shit.
Yo, Pablo, let me ask you a question. So going back to this P. Diddy rock the vote. Hypothetically speaking, So you're saying people are picking the lesser of two evils. Well, what if I don't want to pick anybody? Can I just technically sell my vote?
What do you mean?
Like put my vote up for sale.
Don't
So
worry, it's not worth anything.
I mean,
No, but I'm just saying, like, say if Mitt wants to win, I'll be like, yo, Mitt, here, pay my vote. It's $200. Can a citizen do that if they want to?
I mean, I don't see why not, but no candidate is anybody.
What'd you say?
Difference from like if it's like, yo, man, like pay me $200, I won't vote for you. I mean,
Hey, Pablo, you're like breaking up.
oh, word.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'll speak slower, I guess.
You sound a little better now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like to use a bribe to convince someone to vote for you is, I mean, it's pretty pathetic from that person's point of view, and I mean, it really won't make a difference because what's one vote compared to millions, you know?
Well, don't they need money from like endorsement people just to run, campaign and stuff?
Yeah. So
Hundreds of millions.
difference.
Okay, so then what's $100 compared to forget 100? Give me $50 and I'll vote for you. Hello.
Well, the difference
All right,
there is
Berto, what's
like,
up?
that money that they get from different groups it usually goes towards advertising.
Yeah, for all the commercials and stuff.
Exactly. So,
But think about it this way: they could save millions of dollars on commercials because basically commercials are just to sway somebody and persuade them to not to vote for the other person and vote for them. Well, instead of spending that money, why can't they just go out and
Yeah,
buy
but
people's votes?
I mean, technically your theory is a little flawed because you could think about it like a hardcore Obama supporter could be like, "Yo, Mitt, pay me $200 to vote." But since there's an element of anonymity when you're voting, there's no way of knowing if you actually did vote for Mitt. So basically, there's no turnaround on his money. So he can pay you $200 all he wants, and you can turn around and vote for Obama, no problem. And there's no absolute way for him to know it. So why are they gonna take that gamble and put $200 down to
And
pay
how-
somebody off?
And being practical, how the hell would that ever work?
It
yeah,
wouldn't.
I mean,
There's
when you think about it,
350 million people in the damn country. They're gonna cut a check for every person.
Hey, listen, there's 8 billion people in China, according to EddyTeddy.
Use your noggin.
yeah, I mean, like I think there's like something around 200 million registered voters, and I'd say about 1.3 of those show up to vote. So, I mean, I'd say it'd probably be a waste of money. I mean, think about it: 130 million people times $50. That's a lot of money.
They
Yeah.
could probably pay for out of the money he saved on his taxes.
Yeah.
But no. So actually, let's keep going. Since we were talking about usually the two people that people would think to vote are the Republicans or the Democrats. So I know you always talk about Jill Stein, and she's a Green Party member. So what the hell is that about?
I mean, basically, I mean, there's more than just the Green Party, or there's a bunch of, I guess, I don't know, third party candidates. There's a Libertarian Party, the Constitution Party, Green Party, whatever. I mean,
Isn't Ross Perot Green Party?
I think I'm not.
He used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my ninja, man.
Back in the
Bro.
90s.
But no, like basically, the
1 second. Who's making so much noise back there?
I'm sorry.
Taking a shower right now.
I gotta feed my dog. Give me a second. Keep on talking.
Can you put your mic on mute, please?
Yeah, put your mic on mute, idiot.
Okay, I'm done.
What a genius. Anyways, continue.
Technology, man.
I mean, with third party candidates, they usually get pushed out because, again, Republicans and Democrats, they have kind of like a monopoly on politics in America. Obviously they're the biggest party, but they have some sort of understanding between the two of each other where they, it's if we lose any kind of seat in government, it should be to each other and not to anybody else. And what that does, it pushes kind of American politics on a one-way street towards whichever way the people who fund those two parties want it to go. So when it comes to third party, like, there's Republicans and Democrats, and then it's kind of the third party that kind of
The stepchildren?
yeah. So like the Green Party is more of a liberal third party, whereas Libertarian is more of a conservative third party.
That's why Ron Paul ended up coming back as a Republican this time, because last time he tried to do Libertarian, it blew up in his face.
Well, what happens is it's, he tries, because they are pretty much Republicans. Like the guy running for the Libertarian ticket right now, he's also he's the governor or was the governor of New Mexico, but they didn't let him in the primaries, so he said, forget it, I'm just gonna run as a Libertarian, and yeah, so I mean, like basically what happens is these people, they get shut out of the primaries, so they have to run on a third party.
Well, Pablo, let me ask you this though, man. Because I'm assuming they put a lot of money into their campaigns, and not obviously maybe not as much as the main two candidates. But what's the point of running if they're not going to win?
Well, here's the thing. For example, if during any given election, if you get 5% of the vote, you're eligible to get $20 million in federal funding for the next election. So
okay, so essentially they're not campaigning and they're not running to win. They're running to get a 5% vote.
Yeah, they're running for a bigger voice. So like if you think, it's like they got the two main parties have politics in our country so boxed in for themselves that no one can get a foot in the door. So basically what these candidates are running for is to get that foot in the door to open it wider during the next run. So, and also it's like, people during 2000, people blamed Ralph Nader for Al Gore's loss of Florida. But it's more the fact that, like if you take voters from someone else in either of the parties, it brings you that recognition. Like, you're not speaking to a good amount of people to where it's hurting you. So you have to change your policies. The abolishment of slavery, women's rights, the New Deal during the Great Depression, all those were policies that were first advocated for by third parties. And after the American people, they're like, all right, we're going to have to listen to these people or else we're going to lose to these third party candidates.
Now, do you think that Ron Paul decided to go for the Republican ticket because he doesn't think he's going to make it to the next election?
Yeah. I think.
Está viejo.
Está viejo, el socio.
No, I think what it is like, Ron Paul, he's a libertarian, but he goes for the Republican ticket because a libertarian is what a Republican should be, like in essence.
Okay.
But
right.
they've hijacked their party to where it's transformed into that crazy nonsense that most of them spew.
I got you.
Hey, I got a question. Isn't there a spot in the ballot saying like, if I don't want to vote for anybody, can I just write my name in and vote for myself?
Yeah, you could do a write-in.
So why don't we all decide upon somebody to vote for, and if we get 5%, we just have a huge party in 4 years.
I like that idea.
Since there's only like 20 people in the country, and it would be that simple.
Hey, for $20 million, that's one hell of a party. I'm pretty sure people could agree to vote for us.
For real. We don't have to campaign much. We just start a good Facebook group.
I like where your head's at, man.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me look at something real quick. Oh, so something you were talking about earlier was if you think that if Romney wins, we're gonna go to war with Iran.
Yeah,
I agree. But do you think if Obama wins, we're still gonna go? Because I think probably.
Well, here's the thing. I think that Obama, and here's the other thing about our two parties in our country. They are scared, absolutely scared of the AIPAC influence. So AIPAC is the largest lobby in our country, largest foreign lobby in our country. And it's because of them that we give $6 billion to Israel to fund their military every year. So they go around and they meet up with, when I was interning in Washington, like they went to the congresswoman that I interned office too. They meet up with everybody, and basically it's a meeting to be like, are you still on our side or not? And if not, if not, they're gonna spend all the money that they have to fund the candidate running against that person.
And how is it that we let lobbying run so crazy and be legal the way that it is? Because it's basically tearing apart every ability of normal people to actually get anything that they need done. It's like a business now.
It goes both ways though. Lobbying isn't totally evil. Like there's like Walmart has a lobby, but at the same time, so do like Planned Parenthood and programs like trio programs like McNair, Upward Bound, things like that. So like it's used for people to get together collectively and then reach out to the government. But it can go both ways. It's just like money, money could be used for good, money could be used for evil. But what it comes down to is like, so Obama is boxed in. He's so afraid of AIPAC that if he does anything to upset them, then it's gonna be all out war against Obama. So that's why conservatives try to paint Obama as like, he's the worst president for Israel. He doesn't have Israel's back. He's not listening to Benjamin Yahoo, whatever.
Netanyahu.
Yeah. And so I mean, it comes down to the fact that like Obama is just on his toes. He's trying to he's not trying to say, I support you and everything you do, Israel, but at the same time, he's not trying to say y'all need to get yourselves in check.
I got a question about this whole war on Israel. I think a lot of people are focused on
Iran.
Or whatever, Iran. I think everybody's focused on Iran, but this past week I saw two movies that kind of really opened my eyes into what's going to happen in the future, man. Talking about, I saw Prometheus and I also saw Battleship. Talking about all full-on alien warfare. And a lot of people don't realize that, that Curiosity rover, it's poking its hand somewhere in Mars. Eventually some aliens are going to get pretty pissed and come over, and then it's going to be like Battleship and Prometheus, man. You're going to get fucked. What do you guys have to say about that?
You're an idiot.
You're a dumbass.
That's basically what I was trying to say, but I wanted to figure out how to say it.
Yo,
That's
did
the
anybody
dumbest shit.
did anybody watch Obama 2016?
Oh, we were talking about that earlier briefly.
Oh man, I missed it. That was a great movie though.
We
The
did not
father
see
has
it, though.
become the son.
One.
But actually, since Pablo was talking about Iran and Israel, one of the pictures that I sent you guys was that picture of Netanyahu at the UN, and he's holding like a cartoon bomb. You guys saw it, right? He's holding like a cartoon bomb, and it says first stage 70%, second stage 90%, final stage, and then it has the wick of the bomb. He's basically saying like, oh, we're only gonna deal with Iran shit up to this level, and once the shit goes above the line, then we're gonna bomb the hell out of them. But in reality, by him saying we're gonna bomb the hell out of them, that means like United States is gonna bomb the hell out of them.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean,
and that's
it
why I
depends.
think we're gonna go to war.
It depends.
They just want to.
He wants to go like really, really bad. He
I know
really
he
wants
does.
to.
But that's
bomb
like
the hell out of
that's
them.
like
I mean,
your
as bad as
3-year-old
that
little brother
it would
wanting
be,
to
that
go
would
to
help
war.
the economy.
No,
I mean, no, it wouldn't,
it
because
would kill
Because everybody's
too
dead.
many people.
we're already
No,
in.
man, everybody wouldn't die.
No,
We
I'm
just
saying
left one war, and we're still 10 years into the Afghani war, and that set us. That is actually what killed our economy, because we're
yeah,
so in debt because
I was
of
about to
those
say,
wars.
do you remember when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, war totally helps your economy"? In 1942, when you're going into World War II, now it just makes you broke. We've been if it helps your economy so much, how have we been in war for 10 years and we're more poor than we've ever been? And if China ever asks for their money back, then we become China.
Pretty-
Yeah, but if that comes along with us becoming smarter, I'm all for it.
it would come along with us getting mopped up, and then they'll just take it.
We
That's sort of
will
what-
get the Macs and the iPads a lot quicker since we
We
don't have
would.
to worry about shipping.
Yeah, you guys are impossible to have a serious conversation with.
Hey, listen, I try to talk about Curiosity, and you guys kind of wipe me under the table.
I'm actually looking up APEC now because I didn't know how I felt about him before, but I think I support him now because Peru is part of APEC. So
Are they the P in APEC?
they are the they're the
American Peruvian.
I don't know, man, but they provide grade A guinea pig, and I think if we start eating guinea pig, we'll be able to save on steaks and premium
I think-
meats.
Yo, Berto, I think you're looking up APEC, not APAC.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up. I mean, yeah. Okay. So what's the difference?
APAC is the American Israel Foreign Affairs Committee
He,
Oh, yeah, I don't like
he
them.
retracts
or
his
Public
previous
Affairs
statement.
Committee.
All right, I don't like that, man. I'm all for APEC.
Wow.
Guinea pig.
Oh my god. No, but seriously, war in Iran, watch it.
Hey
But
guys, I'm serious. Nah, all jokes aside, I'm serious about this curiosity thing, man.
I don't think what you said is like realistic. It's not gonna be like in Transformers, Dark Side of the Moon or whatever.
No, but think about it. If,
no,
if
what
you
they're
keep
gonna
on
find
poking
is,
your
like,
head
crazy
into where you
stuff.
don't belong, eventually
Who says we
somebody's
don't
gonna.
belong?
Hello.
Who says we didn't belong there?
Well, we live in Earth and they live in Mars.
Yeah, but we're killing this place. And they also think they found like water remnants or whatever, and there's places you could see where the water is flown like it made ridges and dirt and all this crap. They need to figure that out now.
The pictures are cool as shit. They even found like they've zapped rocks that have like same characteristics and compounds of like Earth rocks and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. If you keep on fucking around, you're gonna regret it.
I saw something that that Curiosity found some evidence of possible life on Mars.
With the water thing, right? Or something else?
No, I totally forget. It says, let me look it up.
It found some like shiny metal shit too.
Yeah, it's like I just googled it again here. It says that like they found like evidence of vigorous flow on the surface of Mars.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. But honestly, I don't really keep track with the Curiosity.
Yeah,
I'm sure something crazy is gonna come out of it. Isn't it gonna be there for years?
Yeah, I mean
it's gonna be there forever.
Well, basically, yeah. But I mean, like operational for years.
I don't know.
Eventually, it's not. I don't think it's gonna last forever.
I don't know. The point is to get as much information as they can before they start sending people over there.
Luna, you gonna volunteer?
Fuck that, man. Are you like motherfucking Will Smith, Men in Black over here? Fuck that.
You could do your Peace Corps mission
That's a
in Mars.
whole new branch of community service there, dog.
Did you ever see Red Planet with Val Kilmer? That could be you.
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, it's a little old. It was sort of low budget, but it wasn't bad. Of course, people died and all that good stuff, but
Yeah.
Yo, this is really random, but China, have you started looking into places for where you want to retire? I've been, cause I started looking at a list today. They had a Yahoo article list. I was considering you're kind of getting there.
Nicaragua's pretty up there. All jokes aside.
what just happened?
Top 10 places to retire.
Yo, Berto, you died on us.
Berto's mic is dying. So in the meantime, until he just figures out how to come back, what
Damn,
I did want to
cut me off.
No, your mic was breaking. You didn't hear it. Well, obviously you didn't hear it, but all of us were trying to tell you, and you just kept talking.
Disrespectful.
Damn, like that.
All right, so what are the top 10 places to retire?
Well, I'm considering Albuquerque, New Mexico.
You're gonna
Costa
end your
Rica.
life in Albuquerque?
Well, I mean, it's one of the top 10 places to retire under 40,000. I make under 40,000 right now. I'm not trying to wait till I'm 60. I want to retire now. So yeah,
Albuquerque it is. Sign you up.
Go for it.
it's either that or Jackson, Mississippi, man. And I know what happens in Mississippi. I know China will never visit me.
I don't think any of us will go to Mississippi. We went to Mississippi one time and had an interesting experience in the little while we were there.
Wait, is that the top 10 place to retire in the world or in the United States?
It's
What do
gotta
you
be in the
think?
United States.
I was about to say, because they definitely had that article about 2 months ago, and they said Nicaragua was one of the spots, Spain was one of the spots, and it's just because of the way they treat their senior citizens, not.
Well, this has obviously been updated since when you read it, Doug.
Yeah.
Like Spain is in a shithole right now.
Well, at least in Nicaragua you could have slaves.
I
Very
think
true.
that's subjective, but I guess. I mean, subjective as to what their title is.
Servants.
Helpers.
Help.
Yo, but actually, this brings up a good point. Since you guys read news articles every day, since you don't actually work when you're at work, do you guys think that you actually read serious stories about the world in the news?
Whatever
Yeah.
whatever's on Yahoo articles.
Yeah, I did read this nude article. Lana
Yeah.
Del Rey, I've been telling you guys, man. Her GQ spread, very nice.
I don't know who Lana Del Rey is.
She's a British singer. She puts out pretty good music, actually. She's like a young Adele, just sexier.
Wait. You think Adele is sexy?
Anyways, let's not even harp. We all know where that one's going. But I mean, like serious articles, like crazy stuff, like what we were just talking about. How many times have you heard in the news that everyone thinks they're gonna go to war in Iran? Never.
No, they only cover like Curiosity, and they cover that guy that jumped out of space, the Red Bull guy.
Yeah.
That's
The highest free fall, or whatever that was.
Well, they had
He
They
broke
had-
Mach light speed or something like that, or Mach speed.
they had an article about the presidential candidates on Yahoo articles, but it was regarding something about Pizza Hut and which type of pizza they prefer.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
because
I
since
believe
the
it.
next
believe it.
debate is going to be like town hall conference, Pizza Hut was paying off, was offering somebody like a certain amount of money and free pizza for the rest of life if they
Yeah.
went up and said, "Do you like pepperoni or sausage?" And it actually, like, if there's an article, it wasn't on Yahoo, but it brought up a point on
It is on Yahoo.
no, there was a different one that I was reading where I think it was like I forgot the name of the I think it's either Pulse, and Pulse just has like generic articles that they pull off the internet.
From
Um,
Yahoo.
No, from different spots because it wasn't Yahoo. And it's talking about how basically like if you were to sponsor certain events, like the debate brought to you by so and so, like how that would affect our economy because so many people would be like tuning into it that it would cause like a lift in certain not necessarily the economy, but it would cause like a certain lift towards like certain people. So like they were saying like was it a bad thing
Because
or
people
was
are
it a
that
good
dumb.
Shit, I'll tell you one thing. If they gave me free pizza for life, I'd be the first person to ask, "Hey, pepperoni or cheese, man?"
Yeah, but do you, like
We know
like,
that.
the question that they was proposing was like, do you think if they were to erect like, let's say like if they started putting advertisements on certain monuments and stuff like that, would it help the economy or would you consider it like a sellout type of point?
If
Like-
Oh, like the NBA with the advertisements on selling
Yeah,
out,
things like
putting
that. Like, is it
advertisement on jerseys.
would it be ruining the integrity? Like something
Yeah,
like that. Like if somebody
Of course
went up
it
to
does.
if
On a
you think about
monument,
it,
it
like
would.
symbolically, if there's a Bud Light logo on the White House, like that's pretty much saying like, yeah, we sold out to Bud Light, like for
Yeah,
money.
or like Abe Lincoln is sitting on a lazy boy.
Yeah, that was actually exactly one of them. Like it was like the Abe Lincoln thing would be sitting on a Lazy Boy brand, and would it ruin the integrity or would it
Yes,
like
it would.
Like you know what it would do? It would more than ruin the integrity. It would kind of expose the way our government works already, because
We really care about the money value.
all these politicians are already owned by corporations.
yeah basically
And they'll just put him on blast for it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm mad. I've been thinking about this a lot. That's why everything someone says brings me on to another point. The next thing is, speaking of being owned by companies or other politicians, I know Pablo, you know about this, but have you guys heard of Bahrain before? The country?
Excuse me?
Have you heard of the country Bahrain?
nah.
No, you can't say
Nah,
that.
man.
Okay, basically, it's a small little island in the Middle East. Pablo knows, and they have like mad oil reserves, just like every other country over there. And we put in our own guy so that we can get the oil from there. And the people have been basically trying to kick the U.S. out for like 30 years, and they don't tell anybody that we do it because
Oh, it's like an emergency reserve, right?
that's not what I'm talking about. So they don't
No,
tell.
because
But just let me, what I'm saying
You
is
gotta
like
say my
they
bad,
don't
man.
they don't tell anybody because the people over there are like
Tell anybody what though?
they don't tell Americans that we are completely paying for the dictator to stay in power because the dictator gives us gas and gives us whatever the hell, and all we have to do is give him money, and he kills people whenever he feels like it, all that shit. So they're trying to get him out, and that's why they hate American people. but we stick with him because he is down to help our cause, right? But at the same exact time, there's a dictator in like Syria, and they don't like him because he doesn't help us out. He tries to like support the Syrians, I guess, or his own interest, and then they're like, oh yeah, we should totally help the rebels kill him. How does that even make sense?
Well, I mean, the Bahrain is actually ruled by a royal family, and they've been in years since Bahrain. They've been in power since the country started. Um, what it is that the U.S. Bahrain to the U.S. is a military asset. We have a
Yeah, we have a naval base, right?
yeah, we have a naval base there, and so I mean that's why we support them. They let our military have a base there, so we sell them weapons. We have a bunch of contracts with them. Um, so it's not it technically. I mean, as far as dictators go, I guess you can say it is a dictator. But the main reason the people in that country are unhappy with I guess the kings or the royal family is it's a majority it's a majority Shiite population, whereas the royal family they're Sunnis. So and the whole government is made to be kind of it's prejudiced towards anyone who's not Sunni. So a lot of the demonstrations are against the family for that reason. Now what's happening is the government in Bahrain is basically they're killing people who protest. They just like the guy in Syria is doing the same to his people. They're killing the protesters, and they're sentencing the doctors who treat the protesters to jail.
And I heard that what they do is that nonstop every day they'll just shoot in tear gas.
Yeah.
Because it's really they're not shooting them like with bullets, but the nonstop tear gas just ruins their lungs, kills their eyes, like all this crazy shit.
Yeah. And here's the kicker: everything that they're using against their people are weapons provided by our government.
Yeah. So this is how we earn our awesome reputation.
Yeah. And now the difference is in Syria, it's the same situation. Like all these people started rising up around the same time during the Arab Spring, and you have this guy Bashar al-Assad, and he's literally just using planes and tanks against people who have just AK-47s, and so yeah, he's killing his own people. But the reason we don't like him is because his government is backed by Russia. It's backed by Russia and by Iran, so we can demonize his government because we have no ties to him.
Man,
this really puts stuff into perspective.
This is what I'm saying. I'd rather hear about shit like this in the news than today. I turn on the news and the first thing I hear is about somebody being on Dancing with the Stars. It's like they're playing shit to keep us retarded.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, to be perfectly honest, like they're not going to talk about something like that, because if you create a sense of, because people already have like a sense of distrust for the government, but if you qualify that sense of distrust, like if you be like, damn, we definitely can't trust the government, that creates more of an uproar than it would be good. So that's kind of why they can't report on stuff like that. Just like it's very like
in reality, it shows why there's a reason to feel like that. So you're saying it's a bad thing to let more people know the truth?
No, not necessarily. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to let. It's just I'm saying why they're limiting, like why the news is not going to report on stuff like that.
It's that, but it's also like how, like people. Let's face it, most people don't want to hear that, so they rather tune into the news that they're going to listen for 10 minutes and hear about Birdman's new mansion than hear about the whatever the war and the people dying over there, just because they're stupid. They don't want to have to think when they turn on the TV. They just want to see whatever's going on in pop culture.
Well, did you guys hear that Kanye West bought Kim Kardashian the new Range Rover?
Perfect example.
It was a black Range Rover sitting on 26.
To appease to the masses, like people like Luna,
right?
They had to report stuff like that.
Well, at the same time, it's more the fact that like the media is kind of like the fourth branch of the government.
Yeah,
so
they're covering it up, basically.
It's exactly what it is. It's the same reason that we don't address a lot of the issues that are a problem with our country, like the bailout of the banks or the prison industrial complex. So like we don't address things like that because those are things that our government doesn't want to be exposed. Or I mean, not that they're not already exposed, but they don't want it put in the limelight, so people start asking questions.
Like I know what you guys are saying, like what Berto said, like, yeah, no one really gives a fuck in the long run. But
It's not that nobody gives a fuck. It's at what sells.
no, because if you think about it, people would be interested if you start learning all, because it sort of draws a line, like when does something go from being a conspiracy theory to being the truth that's just being uncovered, right? So people would be interested in knowing, like, we've been being shady for all these years and never talking about it, but then it's gonna pay back like it did when we, like, all this stuff that happens to us now is payback for all the things that people don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
So
and
when
like,
it gets worse, people are gonna be like, when did it ever get so bad? And it gets bad little by little, and no one really cares. And then by the time you realize it, it's way too late.
yeah, and it's more the fact that like for example, with like the situation in Egypt, um obviously the guy was a dictator, Mubarak, and the whole country was against him. But in our country, our media and our president especially, they were taken by surprise. They didn't know what to do because number one, we're paying for this guy to be in power.
Exactly.
But number two, like we're supposed to be, the symbol of democracy to the world. So like we can't exactly say like, yeah, we're supporting this guy who everybody in this country hates. So it took about a month for President Obama to be like, okay, this guy needs to go. We'll support the government, everything. So I mean, it's more the fact that like if you see that the U.S. is selling weapons or providing weapons to a country that's killing its own people, that goes against American values, and it's pretty much the most un-American thing possible. So to put that out in for the whole country to see, it'll have people start asking questions, and when people start asking questions, it's not good for the status quo.
Because people start figuring things out. Nobody wants that.